But the lectures have more impact on me because I get to see the audience and then to talk to people afterwards, and they tell me the same thing. Many people who come up to me in the meet and greets, because they tell me, they've been trying to develop a vision for their life and to act more responsibly and to speak more truthfully and to take more responsibility. Maybe I already said that. And that the changes in their lives have been overwhelming as a consequence. Merely trying to just speak the truth or not lie has had a huge effect on many of the people that I've talked to. And it's not a simple thing to do, and it's a risky thing because the consequences of speaking the truth in the short term, especially if you're not very practiced at it, can be quite devastating, which is, of course, why people don't do it. But the medium to long-term consequences are extremely beneficial, and it's what sets the world straight. And so, Dr. Peterson, don't you think that it's interesting that so many people are coming to your lectures that are fundamentally psychological and philosophical in nature, and apparently doing so because they're really trying hard to get their lives together? It's like, yeah, I think that's really interesting, and it's a question that's really worth pursuing. It's the only question that's worth pursuing as far as I'm concerned, because it's a real mystery that there's such a demand for this. I can't fathom it. I think it's been a source of tremendous optimism to me that people have that burning desire for a more profound dialogue. And, it's not necessarily the people that you expect too. So the journalists, they're very cynical about my hypothetically angry audience, for example. And, I've spoken now to, I think, 350,000 people, right? 350,000 people in 150 cities. And we haven't had one episode of misbehavior from anybody in the audience, except for one person who stood up in some city and had a few, rebellious things to say. But that person wasn't a partisan of mine by any stretch of the imagination. The lectures have been very, very peaceful, and they're very, very positive. And that's part of the reason why I've been able to travel around so regularly over the last year with my wife and do 150 lectures, because it's quite, demanding, all that traveling and all that thinking, because each of the lectures is different, at least to the degree that I can make it. But they're so positive, and it's so exciting at a fundamental level to see people want to engage in serious dialogue of that sort, that it's unbelievably sustaining. Let's call it that. It makes up for the energy use. I'll tell you, both my wife and I, and Dave Rubin too, and my tour manager, John O'Connell, who's been a really good guy, we've all found this entire experience extraordinarily positive. And the same thing happens with the people who are arranging the tours. It's their experience is the same. So